Well, we just about have him on the line. In fact, he's about to come on the line now. As I said, you might have read in page 6 of the Post a few weeks ago that Joe and the former President of the United States, Richard Nixon, not only know each other, they live next to each other, in fact.
Down in Florida.
Down in Florida.
Yes. Well, let's see what luck we have now as we try to get a line through.
And I think, can we pick it up now? It's all right to pick it up now. Are you on the line?
Yes, this is Richard Nixon.
Well,
Steve Allen?
yes.
This is Richard Nixon. And I would just like to say, Steve, that we get you in New Jersey, and, you know, we love you in New Jersey. And I'm not saying the people in New York don't love you. They love you. They don't love you any less or any more than we love you. We love you. Jersey loves you. New York loves you. And even the people in California who aren't getting you, they love you. As a matter of fact, they didn't get me in California either. And
Well,
never will get me. But I want to say I'm not giving up, Steve.
Good.
You know, you never give up until it's over. No matter how many people tell me that it's over, I'm not going to believe it till it's over. But I'm out of it now. But I want you to know, Steve, I'm not giving up. I'm going to run for the mayor of New York City. I intend to make New York City the strongest city in the free world. And I was just telling my friend Joe Mullen the other day, that doesn't mean I would launch a preemptive attack on Hackensack, New Jersey. Because that would be wrong, Steve.
Oh, you wouldn't do that, sir?
No. I think that what you have to do is to see if they're going to attack you. Now, if they're not going to attack you, of course, you don't attack them, unless you suspect. And I've always suspected. My entire life has been suspected. Especially Pat. I can't stand Pat.
Yes, you suspect Pat, do you, sir?
But let me say, Steve...
With your mouth.
I'm losing my script here. Let me say, first of all, I repeat from the beginning, that you are a breath of fresh air into that city. Not that there's anything wrong with the air of New York. Great air. New Jersey's got good air too.
Yes. How do you feel about the garbage?
Right here.
How do you feel about the garbage barge, Mr. President?
Well, I think when a thing is on its way, and it's going of its own free will, I say let the damn thing go. Matter of fact, if Reagan wants to go, and I'm not calling him a damn thing, I would never call the president a damn thing, even though they called me, Dan Rather called me a damn thing, but I won't call him a damn thing unless he calls me a damn thing.
Yeah. Well, that clears that up, Mr. President. It's wonderful to hear your voice, I must say.
You want me to...
Wonderful for me to hear my voice.
You want me to really clear this up?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is actually David Frye.
That's right.
Hey, David.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, David. We've talked about you in a number of instances recently. I'm a great admirer, as you know. We have worked together.
Well, I'm a big admirer of yours, and I hear my good friend Joe Mullen,
Hey, David. How are you?
the top private investigator in New York, is on the show there.
Are you calling from Las Vegas,
I am
David?
calling from Las Vegas, and I've been up since 8 o'clock practicing my Richard Nixon,
What do you do?
and my Bill Buckley and my Ronald Reagan, which I never got a chance to do, but I guess the Nixon is the one thing I was associated with, so I guess that's just as well.
Well, that and, of course, your marvelous Lyndon Johnson.
We can't forget good old Lyndon. Good old Lyndon, he started me off.
Yes. Would you like to reminisce in the guise of Lyndon Johnson for just a moment, sir?
Well, if you insist, Steve, I do remember those good old days when they were throwing apples at me and pears, and I caught a couple of pears, matter of fact. But I do miss wherever I am now, and I'm not going to tell you, Steve. I do miss my wife, Lady Bird, and my 2 semi-beautiful daughters. And I hear they're even more semi-beautiful than they were when I was the president.
I'll never forget how you showed us the scar on your abdomen, sir.
Well, it's not, I don't know who I'm doing anymore. It's been so long. Let us not talk about my God healed me. Jerry Falwell made a pronouncement and it was gone in a minute.
I see. Well, David, I'll never forget the night that I sat beside you on the Tonight Show, and I had gotten out first, and then I moved over and made room for you, and you did your usual fantastic impersonations, and the ones you do, I think you do better than anybody. But I remember being very impressed, as one who analyzes the power of the human mind and the brain and the ability to concentrate. I was so impressed to note that just before you launched into one of your impressions, you glanced at a small postage-sized photo of the individuals you were about to do. Do you still do that?
Fortunately or unfortunately, I find that by looking at pictures, it helps me grasp the image of the person. Maybe it's just a crutch, but I do find by looking at the images of the people, it's like hearing their voices.
Sure, I think it's a great idea, very sound idea.
Well, it's anything that'll be a helpmate, in what I do is valuable. And yes, I practice still. I find that if I don't practice, I'm not that I'm incredible, but if I don't practice, I'm terrible. So
that's true of all arts, I think.
Well, I hear there are people in certain fields. Buddy Rich, I hear, never practiced at all, but I don't know if this was true or not.
Well, of course, he didn't have to be played constantly, which is the same thing.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Right.
People who perform all the time don't have to really side practice it. But yours is a phenomenal ability. I think all of us in show business do a little impression or two. I used to do a fair Cary Grant, although I don't think I could go into it right now.
Well, you do characters more than I think impressions, which is good. You do like Johnny Winters type of things, as Johnny Carson does.
Well, I do. Yeah, I do crazy characters, some dialects and stuff. But I used to do just a few impressions, and one of them was Cary Grant. And yet, if I didn't keep at it, I would lose.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I would lose the Cary Grant, and I could do William Powell or Don Adams doing doing William Powell as the
That was a good one, yeah.
And that, too, if you don't keep at it, you tend to lose that.
I find that if I don't work at it, that I'm worse than, mediocre or worse than that.
That's fantastic.
Although I don't know if I stop now because I haven't given myself a chance to stop. I keep practicing 5-6 times a week, and I try to, do it in front of the mirror and look like the people. And I try to get, the new people, right?
Oh, yes. What new characters might you have added recently?
I do the President of the United States, of course, and I also would like to, Nancy and I, my glasses just came off. Nancy, I would like to congratulate you, Steve, on the magnificent job that you are doing. And when I get to the Big Apple, I certainly would like to be on the show and tell stories and jokes and make people feel good again, like when I first became president.
Yeah.
It's hard to do Reagan, but can you imagine doing the Vice President of the United States?
Bush would be tough.
Well, I'll tell you something. This is George Bush, the Vice President of the United States. I'll be well at it, Steve. I'm so thrilled and I get just thrilled thinking about it, It's not hard leaving. Now it looks like me. Cuomo's gone. It's like I paid him off, but I didn't pay him off.
That's great. That also sounds a little, that the wonderful enthusiasm, that nasality, a little like our dear friend Hubert Humphrey.
Well, let me just say this, that I got the worst of it, Steve. I'm still getting the worst of it. Lyndon is in charge of me up here.
Up there. Well, Hubert, it's good to hear from you again.
There's certain voices nobody's ever done, like Dustin Hoffman.
Yes, I guess.
This is Dustin Hoffman. And I just want to say, Steve, if you run for the president, I want you to know that I want to come out for you, After the movie that I was just in, this should pick whatever it was, I've got to find something to push that's going to work.
Certainly. Well, it sounds a little like a Jewish Jimmy Stewart, which I'd never thought of before, but it's very good, very insightful. Your friend Joe Mellon was just saying something here.
How's Jerry Falwell doing out there?
Well, I just want to say that I think this whole mess is a terrible thing for the ministry. I, of course, am lily white, clean. I have never done anything. I love people despite what you have heard, Steve. I love Jews. I love Jewish customs. Every Sunday night, my wife and I eat at a Chinese restaurant. Column and two from column B, and we love the fried rice, the spare ribs, we believe in it, and the subgum shamin. I don't want to leave anything out. I don't have 3 double chins for nothing, That means you have feeling for not for the flesh, but for other flesh. Humble flesh is okay as long as it's not one of your fellow animals.
Well, thank you, Dr. Falwell, for those insightful...
You're so welcome, Steve.
David, you're the greatest.
Terrific. David, do you have any plans to come to New York in the near future?
Well, if I do, I certainly would like to be on the show in person.
How about every day?
Well, every day.
Yeah, seriously, it's an open-door invitation.
You got it, Steve, and thanks very much for thinking of me.
Wonderful, David.
And continued success to you. And Joe, thank you again. Take care. Enjoy.
All right, David. Mark Simone wants to say hello also.
And you can't do me.
Mark, how are you? You got that great voice, I hear. Thank you for suggesting the people that I do. And thanks again. I'll let you go on to your other guests.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
Bye.
That was a really gifted gentleman, David Frye, F-R-Y-E. And you, those of you who are interested in professional comedy and who do impressions, you really should pick up on the great work that David does. Well, you were able to do that last 15 minutes or so here. But he is, you can't say, Frank Gorshin is better than Rich Little or Rich Little is better than whoever. But David Frye is as good as that gets. And anybody wanting to do impressions should listen to his work, tape him, and study how he does those things. It's just great. He can ad-lib as those characters, too, as you saw.
We have to stop for a message or two, and then we'll continue with Steve Allen and Joe Mullen on WNEW.
When